What's poppin', everybody? It's your boy Kenpachi. We back at it again. You feel me? So, we can go
What?
ahead and get
What?
right.
No, Happy New Year,
Oh,
nothing?
nah, fuck all that.
Yeah, Merry
It's like,
Christmas,
nah.
Happy New Year.
Hey, Merry Christmas, Merry Chrysler, Merry New Year, all
Andale.
that, all that. On the late.
Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad. On the late. So 2020 starting the year off just right with some Star Wars: The Lost Hope. What was this movie called? Goddamn,
The Rise of
um,
The fall of the saga.
Skywalker.
the Fall of
Yeah,
Star Wars.
the
Um,
last nail in the coffin.
yeah, last nail in the coffin. Last nail in the Skywalkers. Um,
Last nail in the Skywalker.
so
Um,
we gonna go ahead introduce our guest and our co-host. So, good soul Blitz, how you doing?
uh, Happy New Year. Um, First of all, let me just say, uh, I appreciate Rich because had it not been for him, we wouldn't be here today. Cause
Sir.
Facts,
we almost canceled this motherfucker.
facts.
Cause I'm just gonna, I'm not gonna name any names right now, but niggas need to start holding their commitments, yo.
Hold their bargain. Hold your bargain.
So that's all I'm gonna say.
All right, Chef. How's the New Year treating you, good sir?
Hey, you know what I'm saying? It's going good so far. You feel me?
Feel
It
that,
is what
feel
it
that.
is. It's the same shit, really. But you know, you know.
I know, I know.
Oh,
Oh shit,
I've had pizza for 3 weeks in a row.
Oh,
my man,
damn,
you
I
gon'
did
you
damn.
not.
gonna
I
fix
did not.
that, bro?
No, listen, bro. I had Emos, my local pizza place, Emos Pizzeria in St. Louis. It's one of the best pizzas. This is an advertisement.
Sponsor.
What was I saying? I had that last week or the weekend, and then I ordered pizza. No, I didn't order pizza. I got pizza from Walmart, like the frozen shits.
Ew.
DiGiorno.
Oh, like DiGiorno?
Yeah, DiGiorno. I fuck with DiGiorno.
Ah,
It's not that
And I
bad.
had that,
corporate.
and then I'm getting pizza again this weekend when I go hang out with my mom. So I just realized that I've been eating pizza for a long ass time, and I need to probably stop. I will stop after this pizza this weekend. I'm done with that. So I'm gonna fuck around and get some bad acne or something.
I feel
Yeah.
that.
Even though I wash my face and take a shower and cleanse
All
myself.
right, man. You need to say
Because
all
you
that.
got to stay clean out
All
here. You can't
right.
be walking around
True.
dirty. You see
Alright.
He's right,
dirty,
though.
some
He's
dirty
right, though.
people
He's
walking
right,
around
though.
here.
Oh, that's
Take a
facts.
shower every day, people.
That's
Drink water and all
big
that stuff.
facts.
That's
Clean your
facts.
feet.
Dirty people walking around
Clean your
here.
feet.
Wash your ass, please.
Wow.
Yes, please. It's
I
not
feel
that
that.
hard.
I feel
Just take
that.
the towel and wipe with soap and water. All right,
Hot
I'm
water.
done.
Hot water. Hot water. Don't
Hot
forget
water.
hot water. It's like
I'm done.
steaming hot. Like burn
No,
yourself
no, no,
water.
no, 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 no. I almost
uh,
died. Almost died.
Rich, how you doing,
Yes,
good sir?
sir.
It's been a while since you last been on the podcast, my man.
It has. I don't remember like. I only did one, I believe, and
I
I
think it
don't
was on the
remember.
last time we talked about Star Wars.
It was
That's
actually.
tough. That's
Hey,
tough.
hey, in
So,
order to discuss these things, we need to have some Star
Star
Wars
Wars head.
experts on here. Cause like I'm a Star Wars fan. I know Chef is Kenpachi. I think you are maybe
Yeah,
sorta, kinda.
I am.
But
Just
like I'm
not
not
of these.
I'm not heavy
Nah,
into it. Like
I am a die-hard Star Wars. I got about 3 books. Trying to build my collection.
If I'm
Even
gonna
though
be
like
honest,
2 of them aren't even canon. They're
yeah,
part of Legends.
I be reading it. Like I watch the movies and some of the shows and read the Spark Notes. That's the kind of thing.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I ain't getting to Star Wars until 2015, The Force Awakens.
Damn.
I knew
Yeah.
about it my whole life and I just didn't care. But when The Force Awakens came out, I was like, all right, I guess it's time to get into it. And I liked it.
Nah,
I
so
actually watched the
my
originals and the prequels. I was like, okay.
That being said, I kind of have to apologize that your first exposure to Star Wars was Force
yeah,
Awakens,
right.
That's
Yeah,
but
I
you're
tough.
don't
here
think I
now.
actually. Yeah, I don't think
Tough.
I watched the original ones or the prequels in full. The
Really?
prequels I remember seeing, but I don't remember like watching them in full.
I remember my brother bought we have all like the first 6, and we watched them in like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we also watched them 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, like when he first got them.
Yeah,
So but I grew up on the prequels, and I like the prequels the best just because I feel like it adds most of the good shit from Star Wars that we have now.
true.
I feel that.
They're not the best movies, but they did a good job of telling the story and completing
For
the
the
story.
most part, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I
they just didn't age well. So,
Yeah.
I don't really
Except for that
ex-
last fight.
fuck that.
oh,
I don't really express my my love for Star Wars that much anymore, but I am a diehard fan as well. I started off um when it was the first one I watched. I think the first one I watched I was 10, and my grandfather had the whole collection and the director's cut for all of the movies. So I've watched 1 through 4 at least 5 times
Hmm.
with my grandfather. So and then what was that shit that came out? Force Awakens or what was that bullshit that came out? Like the first of the bullshits.
Yeah, Force Awakens.
Force
Yeah,
Awakens.
Force Awakens. Yeah, I watched that shit. And then my love for it just disappeared. So
Funny enough, I actually like Force Awakens.
It's not. Yeah, like, I actually, it's not that bad.
Like I like what they did. Like they didn't like do anything special, obviously, but like it still told like a good
Well,
story.
my thing is because, like we were saying before we started recording, is it's the first major Star Wars movie in 20 some odd years. So,
Yeah.
like, it's the first of a new trilogy. So you have to kind of, like, that's why I always tell goats, like, I give that movie a pass because it's the first of a new trilogy. It's gonna set some stuff up, and then we're gonna get the rest of what we want
Now look at
in
us.
the other two movies. Now look at it. Yeah, I mean, egg on my face now, but the Force Awakens it set up some good points. It's just 11
Yeah.
fucked it all up. So.
yeah, I don't really. Yeah, we gonna get into that, man. Fuck. So Blitz and Rich, do you want to start off your points first, or was it a Chef that
I
wanted
don't
to?
have. That's them. They got the
Oh,
points.
okay, yeah, yeah.
You can start off first.
Yeah, we'll just piggyback off y'all and add some of our points as well after you all.
So
Um,
are we talking about the movie first, or like?
Oh,
What? Because I know what you mean now. What you say, you can't just talk about the movie without bringing up the other shit. But
Yeah.
it's wherever you want to start first.
yeah,
I
'cause we
mean, I
going
guess.
off here.
Well, yeah. So let's just focus for now on episode 9 itself, and just what we thought of it as a film. I guess I'll go first. Um, so going into it, I didn't really have that high of expectation because the Last Jedi left such a bad taste in my mouth. Um, so like I didn't know, especially after that movie ended, I didn't know how they were gonna, you know, rectify what the Last Jedi just did. So going into it, like I said, no, pretty low expectations. Um, I first started out saying I wasn't gonna go see it because I refuse to give Disney money for this bullshit they've been doing because there's been a lot of noise surrounding the movie. And interestingly enough, I actually didn't go. I didn't pay my own money. I actually had free tickets. That's the way I went to go see it with a couple friends. Um, and then after
same.
seeing it, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good either. Basically, what I can say is where I think this movie kind of trips and falls and ultimately falls short is it was very self-aware in that it like you could tell that this movie was designed to pretty much put everything you saw in the Last Jedi out of your mind, and that's all this movie was designed to do. Like the way it was cut, the dialogue, the script. Um, I mean, it was obvious that like Disney heard the fan divide when it came down to the Last Jedi, and this movie just tried to buy all the fan sentiment back by putting in things like Luke and Leia and all the and Force stuff, and Sidious and all this kind of stuff. They tried to buy the fans' love back, and there were some things that I liked about it, but ultimately it still wasn't good storytelling in my opinion, so it falls short. So that's kind of like my general overall thoughts on the movie. Um, and then we can, like I said, we can probably get into like the meat and potatoes of it as far as the plot goes in a little
Well,
bit.
the big thing that they tried to they got rid of was Rose Tico.
Yeah,
True.
Yeah,
She
That was
was
that was
they
the
they
biggest
completely
thing.
deleted her
she
character.
had a minute and 16
Yeah,
screen
like she's
time.
in the movie, but like as far as her being part of the story, absolutely not. It's like that never happened.
Yeah, she didn't.
Yeah.
She did
Finn
absolutely.
who? Huh? Nah.
And I
Which I
mean,
mean,
I don't.
I'm
She
not
she she
complaining.
wasn't her storyline in the Last Jedi wasn't that
It's a
bad. I
wasted
mean,
character
yeah,
because like
It was.
you could have brought her in the Force Awakens if you wanted niggas to care about her character so much.
right. Oh, you want to talk about a wasted character? Fucking
Fucking
Maz.
Finn.
Hux.
Nah, not
Oh,
Hux. I'm talking about Maz or Maz. However you pronounce her name, the short brown one, Lupita Nyong'o,
oh,
Maz
her.
Kanata.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
that was a wasted character if I've ever seen one
yeah.
in my life.
Because
Wait,
we
which
saw her
character?
once. The chick with the glasses in Force Awakens that had Luke's lightsaber. The little
Oh,
Yeah,
Maz.
the
the
one that
bar.
ran the
Yeah.
cantina.
Yeah, Mons.
Yep.
Yeah, that was the most
Big,
wasted character I've
big
ever seen in my
wasted
life.
character. It also never explained what the fuck she was doing when they
Yeah.
called her
And
in
they
the
the movie asked
Last Jedi.
why. Yeah, the movie is like, what are you doing? It's like, I'm busy right now. Doing what?
Yeah, it's blaster fire and shit popping off, and she's just chilling. And now she's on the fucking planet. I forgot what the planet's called, but yeah.
Didn't
I
even
don't
explain
even
how
care.
she got the lightsaber.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I felt like that was a big ass plot hole that niggas just left out, and I was like, all right, so we're not gonna explain how she got one of the most famous lightsabers in the whole
Lightsabers.
galaxy. Like, what we doing here? But I mean, it's just like shit like that where they just kind of use like the most used tool in these
Media.
movies is just nostalgia and media. That's pretty
Yeah.
much it, and also fan service. And I'm not talking about the fan service that me and Bliss know about, but I'm
No, that's
talking about
anime. That's
yeah,
different. That's different. Jesus. That's
I'm talking
not.
about fan service when it comes to I know I'm probably skipping ahead on this one, but when Luke when Leia gave Luke and I believe Han Solo the medal, when they saved, I forget, when they saved something, and Chewbacca didn't get a medal, and then in this new movie that came out, he gets a medal,
He
but
finally
he
got his
does,
medal.
yeah, he finally got his medal, but like, why,
It only took
why?
him 30 some odd years.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I
is
ain't
it
even
really
pieced that
that
together.
important that he got a medal? Like, what?
No.
It
It's
not
again.
doing anything for the
It goes
story.
back to Disney trying to buy the nostalgia. It's like, oh, remember? Oh, the fans remember Chewie never got his medal after they blew up the Death Star. Hey, he finally got his medal. See, we're cool, right?
Yeah,
That's what
that's
they're saying.
Literally what that is.
and yeah,
Um,
that's not doing anything for me as a I don't want to
A
say an
viewer.
actual fan, but a a connoisseur, I guess.
yeah. Like if you're relatively if you have a decent idea of the Star Wars lore, then yeah, you would know that Chewie never got his medal at the end. Why? I didn't even really care. I didn't even think it was really that big of a deal. I didn't even
Um.
notice until it
So
was pointed out. So
That nigga's a
apparently
foot
it's because
soldier, bro.
Wookiee,
Like,
in like Wookiee culture, they're not allowed to wear medals or whatever.
oh, true.
so
See,
Like
I
they
why
didn't
just
they
know
can't
even
that.
have
give it
nothing.
to him in the first place if he's not allowed to wear it?
Oh no. Maybe they
That's
just did. I don't know if that's legends or canon because I don't know. Like,
What's canon anymore?
yeah, like I know the majority of shit that's
kind of
canon, but
that
like
is
little
sad.
details like that, I don't know if it's canon or not
Yeah.
anymore.
So, just to kind of give a little bit more structure, so I got a list of notes from plot points from the movie that I kind of wanted to talk about and break down. Um, this doesn't have to be in any particular order, but this is the very first thing I got on my list as Leia's death. Um, so why didn't she at
Unnecessary.
least? Why didn't she at least? Why did she at least do what Luke did? Like she couldn't, like, because in that training session she was shown to be just as powerful, if not stronger than Luke. So how come she couldn't spawn as a Force hologram and fight things like Luke did?
I just
Technology.
I just feel like Luke was probably just stronger in the Force than she was because he had more training, obviously, and then he didn't stop his training.
But
Like she stopped her training to become a general,
right,
and he continued his training. Had the school that burned down or
so
whatever.
that kind of leads me to my next question: how is Leia Rey's master then? If she didn't get any kind of if she didn't have complete training.
Is that what they were doing?
Yeah, I think that's the idea they're trying to push, that Leia was Rey's master after Luke kind of
Shit.
dipped out.
I feel like this has to do with Luke not knowing anything about the old Jedi, the Republic,
Yeah,
because I don't think they have like he has the ancient books, but I don't think he has this
you
the
said he
Jedi
didn't
books
read them.
from. Yeah, maybe not.
He
I
had
don't
him.
know.
He didn't read. That's funny.
I don't know, but yeah, I feel that's the idea they're trying to push with Leia being super OP for no reason, or not no reason, but for a
It's
reason out of nowhere.
No reason.
it's
Just
literally
because
like a main
she had
character
because
plot, bro.
Leia constructed a lightsaber, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When did she do that?
I mean, I don't think that really matters because when did Luke do it? You don't know until the comics, until
Well,
you read the
yeah,
comics.
well, he did it in between. I'm assuming he made his own lightsaber in between 5 and 6.
Yeah, and that's what the comic shows you, and I'm pretty sure it would be the same thing for Leia. It was 10 years they said between, or not 10 years. It was a couple of years between Last Jedi and Rise
It
of
was
Skywalker.
it was a year, I think.
The Last Jedi. How did that end?
It ended with
Um,
the resistance. Most of the resistance got blown up, and they only like it was down to like one transport ship. They were put out a distress signal. No one showed up because the first
and
one was still
they went
chasing
on
them.
to that sand, another sand planet,
Yeah,
and
Oh, they got
she
saved
lifted
by
the
Ray.
rocks. She lifted the
Yeah.
rocks.
yeah,
She did the rock thing.
Okay, so it had to be some time between that then.
yeah. So I mean, like I get it. It's just like I still think that's the idea they're trying to push is like Leia is was gonna take over for or not. Yeah, Leia was gonna take over Rey's training, but we never really saw her get formal training either.
Yeah,
Except that one like 30-second clip of Luke and her training.
yeah.
And she was piecing them up, by the way.
High
She
key.
was. She was whooping
I
that
saw that
ass.
clip. Yo.
It's like how like okay, like I don't know.
Uh,
Yeah. I mean,
But it's,
supposedly
that's
she was like naturally stronger because in I don't know which book, but I remember reading that Yoda wanted to train Leia instead of Luke. Like he was like, I wanted to train
well, he
Leia.
missed it because he died. So that's your fault. Man.
Yeah.
that nigga goes now.
I mean, to me, like, I guess that's fine because if it's in the books that she's has a bit of an edge, that's okay. It's just I've always had the idea that Luke and Leia are kind of equal since they're twins, so that's
Yeah,
just.
that would make sense.
But
Yeah,
I
that
don't know.
would.
But yeah, that's not the hill I'm gonna die on. It is what. Like I said, I'm jumping around on my notes here. So that scene where the fucking force tug of war between Kylo and Rey,
Oh, with the ship,
right?
with the transfer ship.
Who like, and then she uses force lightning on accident. Like,
Yeah.
first of all, I thought that had to be a learned ability. I thought
That
It
is
is.
literally a forbidden art. You can't just
Yeah.
accidentally do that.
You have to
Yeah.
be dark side
you have to
user in order to
you
do
have
that.
to you have to unlock it. And I think that what they were
Yeah.
going was because she's Palpatine's granddaughter that shit was dormant in
No, she
her.
just
But
has like raw strength.
yeah,
No,
but
you still
you
gotta
still
be
have to
dark
learn
side.
it.
You still have
Yeah,
to
Yeah.
learn that shit, bro.
you have to
can't just
unlock
pull
that
that
though.
shit
You
out
just
your
can't
ass.
just get it. You can't
She
just
wasn't
get
even
it.
fully trained to be a Jedi, but yet she had the lightning powers.
And
Yeah.
it's like
So here we go,
people
rewriting the
wanna
story again.
people wanna argue
Yeah.
that like oh like it's also
Emotions.
it could be a what is it? Not even emotion. It's just like oh you could be a it could be a force sensitive like a Jedi side ability, like a light side ability. Um
Force lightning's the dark side
But
ability.
it's a dark.
there,
It's like a
there's
dark.
there's another ability that looks like force lightning, but they in the books they just called it something different.
Oh, I
I
never
can't
read
remember
that.
what it is, but I've seen people like argue that that's what it is when it's really
Be
not.
that as it may, it's something you have to learn. You can't just like spawn it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
especially, and that's like one of the that's canon. One of the strongest like uh dark side abilities. You know, like not every dark side user did it. Only Sidious and Count Dooku.
Yeah, because
Right.
Darth
Even
Vader
in the
was not even
shows.
allowed to use it because of his the way his body was set up.
Yeah.
He kill himself.
Yeah, all that metal. He even thought about using
Nigga
force
fry
lightning. He
that
would kill
circuit real
himself.
quick,
he
bro.
would he would thunder shock himself like a Pikachu, yo.
My
Yeah.
thing is, like, cause she was trying to sit there and bring the ship back, but what was she upset about to the point where she started sparking lightning
I
from her
feel
fingertips?
I don't well I
I
think
feel like they
there-
just making her fake mad for the sake of the damn plot.
that's another thing too. I feel like since now it's revealed in this movie that she's Palpatine's granddaughter, they tried to push that like she has anger issues. Like
So she's just naturally like mad.
if they had pushed that idea or hinted towards that like in the Last Jedi or even in Force Awakens, it would have been more believable. But all of a
Yeah.
sudden out of nowhere she has anger issues. She has issues controlling her anger.
Also, oh wait, go on.
No, that was it. It's just like where did that come from, bruh?
Yeah. Another thing in that scene, I don't know why the fuck they were there, but the Knights of Ren were just chilling in the fucking desert, like spying on them, not doing it. I thought
Those
like
niggas is trash, yo.
when they were like looking at Chewbacca, I was like, oh, Chewbacca about to fight two of them at once, you know? I thought this was gonna be like a Royal Rumble type of shit, and they're just like chilling, bro. They're just like peeping toms, like, all right, this is cool. Like they
Yeah,
didn't do anything.
And how come no one on and how come on that point, how come no one on either side was trying to take the opportunity to shoot Ray or Kylo, yo? You got
Yeah,
Finn and
that
Poe on
too.
Ray's side. You could at least like take a shot at Kylo. He's got his hands full right now. Like what are y'all doing, bro?
Yeah, they're like looking at him, and I'm like, they're literally just forced tug of war, and like y'all seen this already. Just shoot, someone shoot Someone
I'm not saying you're gonna kill him, but at least you'll like
give
get
him
a hit
another
in.
one.
Distract someone.
Yeah, distraction. It'll disrupt his fucking concentration.
Also, where like what other ship did Chewie go on? Because there was only one ship.
It was
Yeah,
And
how did
then
yeah? When
they-
when was there two?
when they was showing Chewbacca locked up, I thought it was 2.
Yeah,
could've
but the way
swore
they
it was
cut,
one.
but the way they showed it, it's like the way they edited it. It was like he was on that ship that blew up.
Yeah.
So
But
it's like
actually, he came in through the Falcon.
right.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to remember when I thought there were two ships because I think that what they wanted to have us believe that Chewie was on that ship that blew up, but then surprise, he's actually still alive.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Ha
I think that's what that was.
Uh-huh.
ha.
What else? Oh, why did Finn try to hide so hard that he was force sensitive to Poe?
They
This-
first of all, do
that's
you
gonna
think
be a
that's what
touchy. That's gonna be a touchy one.
you know? That's the one thing I had on my notes listed with a bullet because first of all, do you think that is what he was going to tell Rey that he's force sensitive?
I feel like it was because I don't like, but like
I
the
don't-
only time they seemed like intimate was in the first movie, and then the
Exactly.
second movie they didn't do anything with
Ex-
each other.
They couldn't because they sent Finn on a fucking side trip to be
Yeah.
with, Rose and do that all that PETA save the animals and shit.
And but I feel like if he like loved her or whatever, I feel
they-
like he wouldn't have tried to run away in the
They
in the second one.
Well, he spent all 3 movies trying to find her though. Because that's all
Oh,
that's
that's
all
true.
this nigga's lines are is Ray. He's always screaming, "Where's
That's
Ray?"
true.
Or he's screaming Ray's name, right?
This
Hashtag
movie is
wasted character.
literally
They-
this man running around trying to find
Because-
Ray.
I think I think there definitely was plans to have Ray and Finn get together, but they turned it. I don't know why they turned it into a joke or to the butt of everyone's jokes now. I don't know
Also,
why they decided to do that. And on the topic of Finn, they completely deleted his character.
yeah, like he
all you
literally
know-
he went from like a fucking defective stormtrooper to literally just like a Ray finder.
Not even a defective stormtrooper.
Ray finder.
A force sensitive stormtrooper because he's
Yeah.
the only one that we know that has broken their brainwashing. Like, oh shit! Hey, the Force Awakens. Hey, this brainwashed nigga just woke up, broke the brainwashing and shit because he's force sensitive, yo. That's part of the whole. That's kind of that's the biggest plot point that I was excited about when I saw Force Awakens. Like, yo, we're actually gonna get like we've never seen this before. Someone that was on the quote unquote the bad side and then turns good because he's force sensitive. And well, let's see what he does with it. But they completely threw that plot out the window, yo. So now
Yeah.
he's just there.
And then I also threw out his plot because apparently like a bunch of other people also like are defective stormtroopers.
So he's not even special anymore. So it's
Yeah, because that whole like the chick that he found with all those people, she said in the movie, like when they were looking at the Death Star, they're like, "Oh yeah, we're a bunch of defective stormtroopers," and he's like, "I'm not the only one."
yes.
Yeah, so that literally just eliminates that character as like that's
So,
Such a
why
waste of-
should I
special.
even care about this? So why should I even care, bro?
That's what I'm saying.
Like if I'm John Boyega reading that script, I'm like, hey man, yo,
Hey, I'm like, so why am I here?
yo, cut me to check. I'm done, bro. This is why he went off on niggas on social
Yeah.
media last year. Cause like, I'm done. Now that my movie's done, I'm about to say fuck these niggas, fuck Disney, fuck all the rest of y'all niggas to be appreciating this trash, bro. Because the way they did it was just not good.
They did
So-
my man over, yeah.
They did.
Yeah,
What?
I think he's the biggest casualty of this whole thing.
Oh, definitely.
Um,
It was a bait and switch that they gave us with the Force Awakens.
what else?
What else? This is a small one, or I think another wasted character. I think we were saying this off stream, but I feel like Hux was fucking wasted. Like he was just
Oh,
like
absolutely.
he was the spy, and then he's like, I don't care about winning or losing as long as fucking Kylo
What kind of
loses. And I'm like, what?
What kind of childish 11-year-old excuse is that, bro?
I
How
was
old
like,
are you?
what? And he was like some badass. Like he was supposed to be like, quote unquote, the next Harkin.
I don't think-
Hawken.
Yeah, I don't think that was supposed to be the original plan for his character.
Yeah, and then he just gets shot, and I'm like, all right, who the fuck is
I
this
don't
guy?
want- I don't want to, I don't care if you win.
I don't care if you
I
win
love
or
to
lose.
lose.
Like,
Nigga, who
bro.
are you? And even the way they revealed that he's the traitor, it's just like they're like the movie was like talking to the audience like niggas is stupid. It's like
Yeah.
I am the traitor. Oh no
But-
shit! I just saw you kill all those stormtroopers, right? Like, right,
And then he just dies after he literally frees somebody and just gets blasted in the chest.
Uh,
Yeah, 'cause what was his name? Prime.
The
Just
guy that
on
killed him.
top? Yo, who is
Yeah.
Prime?
Oh, on top of that, yeah, who is Prime,
I
bro?
thought he was gonna be the traitor because like we never seen this nigga before. I
Right?
thought he was gonna be the mole.
Talking about he served him in the served him before. Like, no, you haven't.
When?
Like where? What
No,
what
you
movie
have
was
not.
that in, sir?
Nigga, what war?
They just need to come up with more
Nigga,
shows. What war?
what war? There's a bunch of these bitches. Which one was you in?
Exactly. Like, what, bro? Like, none
Um,
of that makes sense. It's just like this whole movie, and the reason that, like, beforehand when Bliss was talking about it and reading the Reddits and everything,
Oh yeah, the
and
plot
I
got big leaked.
yeah, and just like all the other stuff, and I was reading and watching videos on it, I was like, I don't think I want to watch a movie that's just literally J.J. Abrams just saying, okay, all right, we're gonna make you run over here, then we're gonna make you run over here. We're gonna send a dude after you, um, to run a little bit more, and then it's gonna be more running, and then we're gonna put characters with fake deep plots to act as filler, right? Right?
General
We're gonna do
Crime
that.
is his name.
We're gonna do that, and
That's
then we're
that's
gonna
since
do even
Dagger.
more running for the characters that have no plot, and then boom, we're gonna add a fake death, like, oh, Chewbacca's dead. Wow. Oh my God. Wait, actually he's alive. Wow, that's even more crazy. And then the fact that the way he did it, he showed us bef- he showed us before the characters even knew, and he didn't the way he put it, he could have added more depth if he just showed us when he showed us and the character at the same time. Not that it takes away when you already know something and the character is just sitting
don't.
there still not knowing what the hell is happening. It's just like, okay, like we're waiting to find out. Instead of just saying like, oh shit, that nigga actually alive. Oh fuck. And then you both you and the character had that connection of, oh, we just experienced that. Like that's kind of crazy. But no, he didn't do that. This whole movie is just all filler and it's bullshit.
Speaking of fan favorite characters that were supposed to die, I don't know if y'all realize there was a cut out there, to where I think it was C-3PO, R2, Leia, Lando, and Chewie all died in Millennium Falcon because they got attacked and exploded, and they all died
I didn't know that.
in one shot. There was a cut of that out there. It was obviously since edited, reshot and edited out, but that just goes to show there's like multiple showings of this movie because I don't remember, Rich, if you were following any of the like the advanced screenings of it, and they're like some people that were like doing test screenings of it for one version of the movie, and like the third act was so bad, niggas was laughing. Like when the big reveal when Palpatine came out, like niggas was like legit laughing, like it was a
That's
comedy, yeah.
that's fucking
That's
hilarious.
dope.
And
Jesus
Disney
Christ.
and Disney got so scared that like we don't want another Last Jedi fiasco on our hands. So that's when they started ordering reshoots and re-edits and all that kind of stuff. And there's multiple cuts now.
Jesus.
And that's kind of like the hot topic of what's going on the internet right now is because apparently J.J. Abrams had I wouldn't say completely different, but he had a very different plan in place for what he wanted to do with Episode 9. But Disney came in again after Last Jedi. Well, I wouldn't say flop, but after Last Jedi had so much noise around it, Disney came in and said, "Yo, you have to do this, that, and the third to to make sure that this shit passes because like we don't want another controversy on our hands." So they took out a lot of his ideas, like the whole Palpatine coming back. That was all Disney, bro. That was
Oh,
Palpatine
that's
originally was not
facts.
supposed to come back.
I mean, I don't mind him coming back though, because I mean, like, look at Darth Maul. He got cut in half, and he wasn't even all that strong. You know, like he was strong, but he wasn't like Palpatine
Yeah,
strong.
but the impact of Sidious's quote unquote death is lessened now because like you mean to tell me at the end of Episode 6 there were people down there that said, "Oh, let's go check on him, go pick him up out of the bottom of that shaft, take him to a lab somewhere, and hook him up to all these IVs where he's been sitting for like 30 some odd years."
He actually exploded in that movie.
Yeah, he exploded.
They threw him over the railing.
They literally rewrote the end of Last Jedi. Yo.
Like, if you explode, and I don't know if you can recover all of that.
Oh, on top of that,
Niggas got the brooms out.
Yeah, it's like like a couple of janitors found him. Like janitors found him at the
Janitors
end,
found him.
at the bottom of a shaft, like Peter Griffin when he fell down the stairs. Yo, I was like, "Oh, we should probably take him somewhere and help him out." You mean to tell me that's what happened, yo? Like, okay.
I feel like another like this is what I saw on Twitter, and I didn't even think about it. Palpatine was Snoke, right? They like revealed
Oh
that he
yeah,
was
that
Snoke
too.
or whatever.
Yeah, 'cause
Like
he was
he
making
made
clone.
him like a clone or whatever. But
That is the
if Palpatine,
stupidest shit.
like this is how you know they were trying to like get this shit out of here, because Snoke was like, just fucking kill Rey, but Palpatine Snoke, and Palpatine doesn't want Rey dead.
Yeah, they changed shit. And like, you mean to tell, so like all that whole shit when Snoke was talking, I was the ones connecting Kylo and Rey's minds through force telepathy and stuff. So Sidious was doing that because Snoke is Sidious. Like, huh?
Did that make
It's a mess.
That's
that shit
another
is
thing I got a question of. How are they sitting here having entire battles
That's another thing too. It's like
across the fucking
this movie really
across
like
whatever they was doing, whatever their power is
this
called?
movie just takes force powers and just they just do
Amplifies
whatever
them.
they just doing fuck all with them. Like, so you mean to
they're
tell
using
That
the
that
powers as
fucking
the plot glue, yo. Like
so
they
here
just
so
yeah.
sticking
here's the
shit
thing.
together with the plot.
So here's my thought process. So you mean to tell me, like, going forward, you're gonna have Force users in Star Wars that are capable of having whole conversations across the galaxy with the Force, not only having full conversations, but can engage you in lightsaber battles, and can also take physical things off your body and then bring it back to their end.
Yeah,
But
that's
but here's the thing. But if you're too old to do that, you'll die because that's what happened to Luke and Leia. That's what you're telling me.
that's true.
Okay.
Hmm.
Like that's what I put on one of my points also was fucking instant email, instant mail.
Yeah, like
Instant
That's what I
like
wrote it. That's what
like
I wrote it as. Like he was
yeah,
like, bro, I need
it's
help, and
Force.
then she's like, take this.
It's Force instant messaging.
Yeah,
Like what?
literally.
But if you're too old to do it, you'll die. If you're too old to do it, like it's like there's an age limit to Force IMing, you know. Like you're over a certain age, you can't take it and you'll die. Because Luke did the same shit and he died, and then Leia, all she did was call Ben Solo's name and he died, and she died.
Yeah.
Huh?
How you call a name and you die? Alright, bro.
That's it. Took that much energy to do that.
That's some
And
nut
keep
shit.
in mind, you know how like when you're force sensitive and you die, you turn into a force ghost or whatever, and your body disappears or whatever.
Yeah.
So Leia didn't do that right
Fear
away when
Jedi.
she died. Yeah, Leia didn't do that right away till she died. She waited till Kylo died. So then she, I guess I can turn into a force ghost
I
now
could
too.
leave died. I'm gonna head out.
It's like, all right, let me cash out, make sure this shit is done. It's just there's just so much inconsistencies and then there's them just doing things with the force that make no sense.
Shout out Force Healing.
This is
That
literally them trying to like
I'm not
force
I'm
in
not
the damn.
I'm not mad about Force Healing.
I'm not
I
mad
don't
about
care
force
about that.
healing, but it does make you wonder, like how long, like is this a new power? Like it does seem natural, like it should seem a natural power, but like it's
Yeah.
never
I
we've
feel
seen in
like
like the
force
other movies.
healing should be a bit more costing than
Just
instant
nothing.
mail. I feel like that should be a little bit more costing. I feel
You
like
know,
she should
and
have died off the healing. It would have added a lot more
here's
impact.
the other thing too. You know what? I feel like that's part of that's not the reason, but a major reason why the what was it, the seventh episode of The Mandalorian was moved up ahead of Rise of Skywalker because you saw Baby Yoda do it. So then you see Baby Yoda force heal somebody, and then you go see Rey do it in Rise of Skywalker. It's like, oh,
I guess
that's
it's
a
a
thing
thing
now.
now. Yeah.
They did so Disney did that shit on purpose. Trust.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
Facts,
facts.
facts. They
But yeah, I'm not upset about that as a power. It's just like, but that really calls into question. So like, how come it took so long for force healing to be a thing? How come when you've got like niggas like back in the old Republic who were like gods who couldn't do?
Literally. Well, no.
niggas were whole war
In
gods.
the Old Republic, they did it. It was Legends. Force Healing was a Legends ability.
But Legends isn't canon anymore, right?
Yeah, so I guess they brought that from Legends. Just like
So
how they brought
they're just
back
picking and
Palpatine coming
choosing.
back.
So they're just picking and choosing what to make canon and what to leave out.
Pretty much.
Disney.
Y'all niggas
Also,
trash.
another like right after the when they went to that snow planet with like Poe's like love interest or whatever the fuck.
I forgot about that shit.
Yeah, shout her out. I don't know how she escaped the planet one because she gave her her ticket. She gave him his ticket out. Two, there was no reason for 3PO like his little fucking like block of speech because he just got his memory back anyways.
Oh yeah, that
Even
too.
though he's like oh yeah R2 units or Astro units are bad at like doing this like restoring it, and I'm just like
Speak.
they're like he just did it like he just pulled up and was like oh here you go bro here's your memories back.
So they made that a hollow emotional moment when C-3PO is surrounded by everybody and saying, "What are you looking at, Lau? One last look at all my friends." First of all, those niggas aren't your friends. You don't know Poe or Finn or Rey or Rose. All your friends are Chewie and R2 and Luke and Leia. None of those niggas were around when he said that. So first of all, those aren't your friends. Second of all, they made that a hollow emotional moment because, like you said, he got his memory back Like what was it, 3 or 4 scenes later? It's
Yeah,
like
literally.
they had backups later. So it was like, what? It's like this movie tries to be, it tries to half-ass everything, you know.
Yeah, the pacing was also pretty shit, but granted, he had to pretty much fit 2 movies in one.
Yeah, that's
So
why I
I
feel
like
like,
forgive that, but at the same time, I'm like, damn.
yeah,
Like everything was just hitting at you, you know? It's like
it's
Leia's training. They got the spy notes. They're on like the desert planet. They found the fucking like
the dagger.
the dagger.
Finder.
Then like they're on this fucking snow planet. Then they're on like the fucking Death Star planet, wherever I forgot where it landed. And then like she's like sees her evil self, which was also pretty fucking, I guess, kind of pointless. Not really, but
I mean,
also
they're
served
not.
nothing.
It was one. It was like one vision, but yeah,
Yeah,
it ended up having no consequence because she didn't. She wasn't even tempted to join the dark side at all.
at all. Like
I
she
don't
didn't
think.
even like try to strike this man down. She did nothing to him.
I think. Well, actually, that's not. I think there was a. I think Sidious said something to the point during the last fight where it's like, "Strike me down, and then all the hatred in me will
Flow
flow
to you.
into you," or something like
Yeah,
that.
like some
And
spirit energy.
the Sith souls.
Yeah,
Yes,
all those souls of the apparently, yeah, apparently he's like all those fuck. He's like Darth Bane,
that's a thing.
Darth Maul. Like he's like every fucking like Sith. Like he's the fucking Avatar, the
Like
last
the
Airbender before Sith.
and then
My man.
Rey's like the avatar of Jedi. Like,
Yeah.
like what?
Oh, I saw I saw a meme that it was like when all the Force ghosts were talking to Rey, but fucking Ben Solo was like in the pit, like climbing out, and they never messes that man. They just left that man to die.
He said, "Yo, yo, yo, I need help.
Help.
What y'all doing?"
Well, since you brought
Oh,
that up, so apparently, you know whose voice was also part of that collection of voices? Because I think it was like Mace Windu, Yoda, Obi Wan,
Anakin,
Qui-Gon, Anakin.
Qui-Gon, Anakin.
You know who also was supposedly also in that cut?
Who?
Ahsoka Tano.
You're lying. Wait, how? She's not a Force ghost. She's
But
still alive.
that's what I'm saying. Like, did they just kill Ahsoka Tano and not tell anybody?
I mean, she's in. I never saw Rebels, but she's in like the World Between Worlds, which is like some
Right.
time traveling shit. I haven't seen Rebels yet.
Right.
Because
But something like,
shit.
in order for like, if all those people are dead, supposedly. So, well, first of all, since Mace was part of that collaboration, so that tells me Mace Windu is dead.
Is dead.
There's no more.
I guess that's their
speculation.
way
All
of
that nigga's alive.
confirming it.
That he died when he fell off that tower.
On some
Yeah.
bullshit.
But yeah, it's like supposedly, I don't know. I'd have to listen to that clip again. But like supposedly Ahsoka Tano's voice was in there. So it's like, so you mean to tell me Ahsoka Tano died and Disney didn't say shit? Or
Nah,
they did it off screen? Like,
that would be crazy. Cause she's like a fan favorite.
she's a fan favorite. Niggas would tear up the streets. Like,
Yeah.
Probably one of the best anti-Jedi / Jedi type person there is.
She's like one of the only ones.
yeah. So
She's actually like one of the first like quote unquote gray Jedis, I guess, right? Kind of like
Yeah.
anti Jedi, but not like.
Yeah.
So she doesn't do any dark side abilities, but she's like not a Jedi.
Because there was a bunch of other voices. Luminara Undali. I don't know if y'all heard of her.
that sounds
Luminara.
like
Mila Sakura. It's a whole bunch of Jedi female Jedis in the Clone Wars that they
Oh yeah.
put in Rise of Skywalker. But
Oh, did they?
them putting Ahsoka Tano in there was like confusing because there is nowhere in any type of writing that says she's dead. But yeah,
That's
you
again,
still heard
Disney's
her
just
voice.
throwing fan service out there just to make niggas clap. It's like, oh, it's Ahsoka Tano. Oh my God, she's in this movie. It's
I
like,
didn't even hear her voice. I mean, then again, a lot was going on. So
yeah, but that was in the supposed test screening, and
Ah.
came from a source. So I don't know if that's true or not. But if that is true, then holy shit,
that's
what the fuck?
crazy.
Not because the first time I saw the movie, and this is me coming fresh off watching the Clone Wars like almost every day, and I heard the first female voice that sounded just like Ahsoka, and it's like, yo, that can't be true, because it sounded just like Ahsoka would.
That'd be crazy.
I don't know what the words were, but her voice, it just sounded just like Tano. It's like, she dead or not? I don't know.
Yeah. So like, if you're gonna say a fan favorite character like that, you better tell somebody. You can't just do it off screen and not say shit. So
What else? Knights of Ren were fucking just useless. They were hyped up, and apparently they're force sensitive.
Yeah,
It was like confirmed
they
that they're
have-
force sensitive.
they have a little bit of force
yeah,
powers,
I figured as
but
much.
they don't use
So
them.
was that them? So that wasn't them in the fight in the throne room fight in Last Jedi, was it?
No, that was
was just
Snoke's
his
like personal guards. Like, yeah.
No, the what are they called again?
Damn.
The Knights of Ren. Yeah, they was totally deleted from the Last Jedi. They was never
Oh, yeah.
used
Yeah.
or mentioned. I don't think they was even mentioned.
Were they? I don't think so.
I know
think
they
so.
wasn't in
No.
the movie at all,
No,
but
no, they weren't mentioned at all. Because yeah, Knights of Ren that was in Force Awakens.
yeah,
Yeah,
That's what
and they were like
was
hyped up.
yeah, they were like, well, who are that? I was like, Knights of Ren. That sounds lit. Who are they?
Was it confirmed that they're like the students that helped burn down the academy, or is
yeah,
that like still that's confirmed?
I thought they confirmed it, and
I
Oh,
think
okay.
it's probably in the Last Jedi. It was something about Kylo taking a group of students and then he trained them in all
I
this.
don't think they ever said that. I think we assumed that that's how they came
Yeah,
up.
but I'm not sure if I like. I
Like
think
Kylo,
I read somewhere that it was confirmed.
like I think you might be right, but I think I remember seeing like after the Jedi Academy burned down and those students that Kylo took, that's how when they became the Knights of Ren.
Yeah,
But I might be wrong on that. I don't know. But
but
I don't think
anyways, it doesn't fucking matter because they just got
yeah,
pieced up.
yeah, they ain't shit. No way.
They're dead. They're not strong enough to like fucking come back like Darth Maul.
Right.
So I mean, like that was just fucking pointless. Hopefully they just need to stick to TV shows.
No,
But
they had a chance to kill Ben, but they gave him and Ray the time to do the force bridging, and so she can give him the lightsaber out of nowhere. You just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
oh yeah, they could have just jumped him,
yeah, but they just stopped and let them do their thing.
Yeah.
and then he gave a I don't know how I did this, but good luck.
Crazy shit.
Right. Speaking of Ray and Kylo, we might as well just get this out the way.
The kiss,
Raylo, anyone? Huh?
Raylo,
Do you
anybody?
ship it?
That
Do
shit
you
is
ship it?
forced. That shit is
There-
forced.
Anybody?
Oh, it's
That
absolutely
shit is
forced. But there's
forced,
there's
bro.
niggas online that rock with it. It's like, all right,
Of
but
course, there's gonna be
it-
niggas that
it-
rock with that shit.
it's a
man.
stupid plot line, but I'm not gonna
That
kill
shit
you for it.
is.
Like I
stupid,
didn't
bro.
like it was out of the blue. Like I was
came
sitting
out
next
of
to my
nowhere.
homeboy, and my fucking homie was like,
I saw it
it
coming.
was quiet, and all you hear from my fucking homie is what?
I saw.
What?
I knew just the way that the atmosphere in that scene was going. I knew it was coming. But even when it happened, I sank in my seat like, bruh.
Yeah, I was just
And
looking. I
then
was like,
fucking
what the?
and then fucking J.J. Abrams tries to make it better by saying like, oh, it's more like a brother sister kind of thing.
Yeah, like that's a thing.
Like
So
what brother?
dumbass up. So
What brother sister?
dumbass up, bro.
What brother sister combo you know kissing like that? That doesn't live in
Confirmed.
Alabama.
Star
That
Wars,
doesn't-
Alabama.
Other
that
than
doesn't-
Luke and Leia, pre-knowing that they were
and
brothers.
that and yeah, and George Lucas even admitted to say he was making shit up at that point because at that point in the story, Luke and Leia were not related.
Yeah, and then people are like confirming, like trying to so like make it better. Be like, oh, it was a Luke and Leia kiss. I'm like, Luke and Leia kiss was a romantic,
That was
kind
a
of like romantic kiss.
That
But
they
it-
were told to make it to act it that way.
Yeah,
It's like,
and I'm just like, you can't like they didn't even know they were brother and sisters.
oh my god.
Like this is crazy. This is
Like
Alabama
I said,
Star Wars.
I saw it coming, but it was like, no, don't do it. And then I just sank in my seat. I'm like,
Don't do it. No, no, no.
Don't.
and then the nigga died, and then Kylo
Yeah,
was like,
and then
bruh.
I get like he got a kiss, good for him, first kiss, but like
first and last, I guess.
this man just
Nigga,
got
what?
like he just all right. I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna join my grandfather.
I mean, this shit was just so forced because they spent 3 movies just fighting each other. No indication of any kind of intimate like feelings at all.
The only
It's
thing
just
I
like-
ever got from them was literally like a brother sister type of thing.
Exactly. Remember the theory? Remember the theory when everyone thought Rey was a Skywalker? They could have been cousins. That was the whole
Yeah.
thing. So it's like, bruh.
Jesus, like what are you doing out here?
I wanna
And
stick
then-
on-
What? Go ahead, chef.
Oh no, you had something to finish off with.
Oh no, I was gonna jump into another topic.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say something about ghost forces or force ghosts.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. Han is a Force ghost now. Apparently.
No, that was because he was crazy. Like it was just like he even said you're a figment of my imagination. That wasn't like a force ghost
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, I know, but it's just like when I first saw, because like I said, I read all the plot leaks ahead of time, and when I saw that Han is like a ghost in form, I was like, bruh, the way they. Now that I saw it, it's like, okay, I guess that's passable. I suppose it's like, it's just like Kylo having his inner monologue and have his figment of his imagination or whatever. But when I first saw that, I was like, bruh, I was like, don't do that. Han wasn't even more sense. Y'all
Yeah,
just,
he didn't even believe in the force. He never believed in the force.
yeah.
Don't do this. Don't do
I'm
this.
just
Don't
trying
do
to,
it. Don't.
I'm just trying to figure out why is it you can go 30 years of your life being a Sith in 2 seconds of you being a good guy, and now you're a Force ghost. I don't understand.
I mean, the same
I
thing
get,
happened
I,
with Darth
that was
Vader, no?
that was supposed to be his like redemption. I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
but
like Darth Vader. I think it's a Skywalker thing.
but
Yeah.
if you look at the Clone Wars, the Clone Wars, the good show,
Yeah,
The
the
you
good
have
show.
to go.
the best thing to come out of Star Wars.
You have to go through rigorous training in order to be able to manifest your Force
Oh, that is true.
life into a ghost like Yoda did.
That is true.
Because
Yoda literally
Qui-Gon
had to
Jinn,
fight himself in
yeah,
that
because
evil
Qui-Gon
form.
Jinn couldn't do it
That
because
nigga
he
was
didn't
fighting
finish his
his
training.
demons. Oh shit.
Do you
So
think?
Qui-Gon Jinn didn't do it, and then only Luke.
No,
Somehow
Qui-Gon did it.
Anakin. No,
Qui-Gon.
Qui-Gon didn't become a ghost.
Yeah, he did. Because remember, he came up. Oh no, that was on
Talk
the
to Obi.
planet, the Force planet.
Didn't he
That was
talk
on
to
the.
Obi-Wan at some point though?
Yeah, that was on the Force
He
planet.
can talk to people. He just can't be a ghost. You can't see him. You can talk.
No,
He can
yeah,
talk
yeah,
to
you
people.
can remember on the Force planet. He talked to on like the Force, like that fucking arc where Anakin like reveals that he's gonna be Darth Vader or whatever. Qui-Gon came up to Obi-Wan and was like, "Yo, what's bracking?"
And what?
What's bracket?
And remember when it was Ahsoka, Obi-Wan, and Anakin on like the Force planet with the son, the father, and the daughter? Qui-Gon
That
appears.
must have been something just related to that area.
Could have been
Other
because
than
it's a
that, I
Force
don't think you
planet.
can. Yeah, I don't. Other
Yeah.
than that, I don't think you can. He can really show himself. He mentioned that in the Clone Wars.
Mm.
That's like
Yeah.
the last 3 episodes. They talk about how Yoda was able to become a ghost and all of that later on in his life, and Qui-Gon mentioned he can't do that. He can only talk.
Oh,
So yeah, I don't understand
makes
how
sense.
Ben Solo was able to do it.
I mean, maybe he
didn't.
didn't. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he can also only talk.
Him and Leia disappeared just out of just
That's
like
true.
that. So
Again, Leia waited for Ben to disappear first, and then she.
But
Or then again,
dead,
maybe Rich is right. Maybe it was a thing because if you think about it, all the Skywalkers done that. Well,
Yeah.
wait, then again, I don't think Anakin did it because his body was burned.
No, he
No,
did it. Remember, and at the
they-
end
they-
of 6,
Yeah, he was
appeared.
there. He was there.
And like
Yeah, but
one
I
of the
remember-
like re-edited ones.
yeah,
Uh,
they added
Like
it
it's
later.
him, Yoda.
yeah, they
and
edited him
Obi-Wan.
in, but yeah, you don't see his body dematerialize. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't think like disappearing was an original concept. I think that's a new thing now.
That was another on the fly edit that George Lucas made to his movies that he keeps doing years after they come out.
Yeah.
He just keeps
Yeah.
adding stuff to it. I just want to know, why is it possible for someone to do that? I thought you had to. First of all, you have to have good intentions.
Wait, no, didn't Yoda disappear? Or he stood
Yoda
there?
disappeared when he died.
Oh yeah.
His body disappeared when he died.
So that is an old thing.
Yeah.
So I don't think Qui-Gon's body didn't disappear when he died because he was
No.
burned. His body was. Vader's body was burned.
Vader's body was
Wow.
burnt and then blew up technically. Oh yeah, no, it was burnt. He took
That
him off
nigga
the
was
Death
getting fucked up.
Star.
It's about Call of Duty.
um, I forgot what we were talking about.
What was the
We
other?
was talking about Force Ghost, so we can go past that since Star Wars just likes to shoe in anybody.
The fucking planet was it? It was populated with like Sith, right? Not, I know it's not Sith. It's like Sith is a race, but
Exegol?
was Exegol.
Oh, it was just dead people.
Oh, they were all like dead, just dead people.
It was dead
know-
people working on a dead man, but whenever the fleet rose up out the ice, it was a whole bunch of people on the ships already. So I'm not sure what the hell they was doing.
Were they just living in the ground?
I
Yeah.
guess so. Also,
Niggas look
when
like-
the fuck like is anyone here play Knights of the Republic?
No,
I haven't.
couldn't
I haven't
do it.
played it.
Oh fuck. So I guess it's a spoiler if you
I can
care.
go ahead, I don't even
No,
care.
I mean the
Um,
game's like
fuck
30.
Star
Yeah,
Wars.
in the game at the end you go to this thing called the Star Forge, which it literally like it manifests as dark side, and you're able to just make armies like out of just the Force. You can make like planes, people, anything you fucking want. So it's like the planet like literally just like a reversion of Star Forge, which because like the man had like millions of fucking little Death Stars. That's another point that I want to get on. Like the man had little Death Stars that were just blowing up planets for no like just cause they can.
Yeah, and then like also just to touch on the little Death Stars, like I don't know why they spend so little time on grief. Like niggas, planets literally exploded. Like
Oh yeah.
planets
What was the
literally
planet that blew
exploded
up?
with
Kojima.
billions of people on it.
Kojima.
With billions of
It's not.
people
To
on
be
it.
fair, it's not the first time. I mean, hell, Alderaan exploded and
Alderaan. What
That
else
was
blew up?
that was the first sign of Darth Vader being the savage. Just blew the fucking planet up.
Yeah, he said, "Watch this,
Just
bitch."
to get an answer.
Nigga, We finna rip this beat.
Yeah, but yeah, where did he have the time to just like have a fucking army of little Death Stars in Starship Destroyer forms?
He had 30 years.
I guess 30 years
Yo,
to build like over 1,000
nah,
Death
How long
I
did it
fucking
take to build the first Death Star?
Oh, it took them
like
hellas.
it took like the whole first three movies.
yeah,
Because
It
even
took
in
them
even in
hellas.
like even in Clone Wars, that's when they started like the plans for the Death Star. Like it was in the Clone Wars the show, and I think it was in Attack of the Clones too.
yeah.
Like you can see like
The
the
hologram attack.
blueprints. Yeah. So it took mad fucking years, and this man just has a like thousands of them just chilling in his backyard.
Hey man, technology moves with the times.
I
Fuck
guess.
that. Fuck
Apparently,
that
that
shit.
old dead Sith Lord
That
is
nigga
able
should
to
be
do this
with an
from.
array and being blown away by a
I
gust of
thought that
wind.
shit was speaking of old Darth City. So I thought that shit was funny to where like when Ray first got to the spot and Sidious is still withered and weak and stuff, and he was talking about time for you to take your place as Empress since you're of my bloodline. As soon as he got a little bit of life force from her and Kylo, then he got his fingertips back. I was like, oh, change of plans. I don't need none of y'all niggas. I'm back,
Yeah.
right?
So what was even like? There was no point of he was like strike me down, but if you can't, I'm gonna just like suck the life out of you and
So
move
why
on
not
with
just
my
do
day.
that? And so
Yeah,
why not just do that? Like,
I guess he would have been stronger as like a Sith spirit because Sith can't like manifest into Force Ghost. They only can like they can. There's a thing called Sith spirit where they can like
they
attach
can
to an object.
yeah, they can possess things, but they can't like materialize as like Force Ghosts like
Yeah,
Jedi
so I
can,
guess
right?
that was his plan to like just live inside his granddaughter. On
That
another
is
note, who
weird.
is he? Who he nutting in? Who fucking
Let's not
Palpatine?
let's not talk about that
That nigga
because
asexual.
My man said either I'm
it's
having children
That
or
nigga just
he's like we
produced.
having children or I having children. Either way,
We having children or
someone
I having children?
someone out here into gilfs.
someone didn't want to. That's a shame.
Oh, you know something that I realized while watching the no, the Force Awakens. Her light her initial lightsaber fighting stance was exactly like Palpatine's in Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
It was not as similar, but like before they do their very first strike, they kind of thrust the saber hilt towards them, and they look
Oh.
yeah, it's like a
nasty as
poke.
shit, and then thrust it towards the person that they're fighting. I was like, oh, that should have been a
I
tip
felt,
right there that she was a
I
Palpatine.
think that was a coincidence. I don't think that was. I still like I said, Sidious coming back and like Ray being connected to him. I don't think that was part of the plan. I really don't.
I don't know because I mean they brought Darth Maul back and that man got cut in half and he's way weaker than Sidious and Sidious is literally like a human form of just hatred and evil. So if Darth Maul could do it, why can't like Sidious be immortal?
So you can blast the sky with
Yeah,
electricity.
it's the principle though. It's like why
Yeah,
you didn't need to bring this nigga back to have a good trilogy, yo. It's like, I
that's
mean,
true.
at this point, I'm kind of over the talking about the movie itself. It's just like, but kind of reviewing all three movies as a whole and as a trilogy. It's just like.
It was shit. It was just they should have just had J.J. Abrams just do the whole
So here's
thing.
my thing. So I teased that I had some breaking news beforehand. This was gonna be primarily aimed at goats, but since we've had the most debate on it, but since he's not here, I guess it's not gonna have as much impact. Whatever. So my breaking news is I had a long conversation with someone else. I was talking to a girl in my guild for BDO in that Discord, and she's a bigger Star Wars fan than I am, and we were having this conversation, and she made me realize, like, you know what? I actually don't hate the Last Jedi anymore,
Oh,
and I'm gonna tell you why. Because even when um after I first saw it the first couple times, I didn't necessarily hate the message that they were trying to do from that whole breakaway from the past thing and all that kind of stuff. So what made me realize is about the Last Jedi is that movie came out, in my opinion, it came out too soon.
yeah,
Because all things considered, like the message, I agree with, but it's a message that's better geared towards the ending movie of a trilogy rather than the middle. Because like if you
That's
think
true.
about it, if you think about it, you have this setup with the Force Awakens, right? And
hmm
then what you could do is you could build on those plot points, whether you agree with them or not. You could build on those plot points in the second movie, and in the third movie, you can go and say, okay, all that considered, But all that, like, like, even though like the Force is something that exists in everyone, so anyone could potentially could have the power to be a Jedi or Sith or a Great Jedi or whatever. So it's like, yeah, so you could use the third move. The third movie is supposed to push that message of break away from the past, let new characters stand on their own laurels and not on the the legacies of a Skywalker or a Palpatine or whatever. But to do that in the second movie of a trilogy, it's like you just pretty much ended the story in the middle when I know full well there's another movie coming after this. So why would you
Yeah.
cut everything off in the second movie? That's why I think everyone got so pissed off with The Last Jedi. It's fragmented storytelling. It fucked up the storytelling. And that's the reason I didn't like it at first, but after I got to think about it and have that conversation with her, it's just like, yeah, like I agree with the message, but the message got delivered too soon. If
Yeah,
this was if the Last Jedi was the last movie in this trilogy, I think it would have been better received. I think.
that makes like that makes 100% sense. Like I can see that. Like if honestly, if they like pretty much took the Rise of Skywalker and like put it in the middle with Palpatine coming back and everything and all that stuff, and then still had like you said, like leave the past in the past, because like yeah, like it could have been like yeah, you're a Palpatine, that doesn't make you fucking evil, you know, like it's
Yeah,
all in the past, like it doesn't matter.
it's what you do. It's what you do with that pop. Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that
So
would have been
that being
probably
said, I still would
a
have
lot
changed a
better.
couple things. I would have changed some things. Story was like, to me, like if Rise of Skywalker was the second movie, I still wouldn't have brought Palpatine back. At least not fully. Like maybe he would have been like you could bring him back as like force like visions that Rey is having because like oh snap like I
That's
actually
my
do
granddaddy.
that's my
That's my
grandfather
granny. I
and
love you,
like you
daddy.
could and it can go back into that thing where like Sith spirits like they possess certain things so maybe there was like that Sith artifact or something like that. Like maybe Palpatine was possessing that, and then that came into Rey's possession, and then she's having these visions of like Palpatine trying to get to her and have her convert to the dark side. But
That would
then
have
at the
been
end,
really
but
good.
at the end of but at the end of the trilogy is like she chooses not to go down that path, but she chooses to do what she wants to do with her powers, and that would have been a better message to have in the Last Jedi. But yeah, again, like they tried to break everything up in the middle of the trilogy, and that fucked everything up. Knowing that there's a whole nother movie coming after this, so it's like, why should I even care about seeing the third movie when you just told me in the second one nothing matters?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, now that I've seen all three of them, my whole thing about it is that I feel like the Rise of Skywalker was part two, but since they decided to shoehorn a different director in for the trilogy for whatever reason,
Disney fucked everything up.
I mean,
yeah.
they did
So
that
I
for
was
all
gonna
for the original trilogy. Also, it was three different actors, I believe.
three different
Dude,
I
directors,
mean, three different directors.
but
but it all
they
still came from George Lucas.
right, it was all George
Yeah,
Lucas. This is
He,
all Disney.
yeah, this is all Disney's
And
doing the fuck because Disney at the end of the day only care about sales and merchandise shits and all that.
that's true.
yeah,
So
because I
they're
was
gonna do
gonna say
whatever
that
makes them the most money.
if that was the case, they might as well have either just kept J.J. Abrams on for the whole trilogy, or just let Mr. Ryan Johnson do what he had to do for the entire
Yeah, like
trilogy.
if Ryan Johnson had done the last this movie, like at least like yeah, okay, like all the things you just showed me pissed me off. At least show me that you're going in a direction with it, and then I'll make the decision whether I agree with it or not. But the
Right.
fact that everything was so disjointed and disconnected, that's ultimately why this trilogy is trash. Because the storytelling is all over the place.
Yeah.
And now I'm looking forward to his new trilogy. At first, I was
Yeah.
like, I don't want to see that shit. But
Yeah,
now
because
that I see
Knives
all
Out is
three
a good
movies, it's
movie.
like,
So
yeah,
it's not like Ryan Johnson is a trash director. Because Knives Out was good. We just
they
saw
just
that.
put him in a bad position.
Right.
Yeah, he had to work with what he had, you know, and I don't blame the guy for taking it in another direction either, you know,
Yeah,
like
because again, I agree with that direction of let the
because
past. Don't.
yeah, and like in the
Like,
Force Awakens, everyone was like, "Oh, it's fucking A New Hope part like 1.5." So it's
right.
like, all right, you want something like completely fucking different? Here you go, and that's what he delivered. And
Right.
then people
But
were like, "Fuck you."
he did it too soon. It's
Yeah,
almost like you had to slowly like Star Wars is a very legacy based franchise where like it's got obviously a huge fan base that spans over 40, 50
decades.
years. So in order for you to really draw people in, you have to rely on that nostalgia. But if you want to bring in something different and introduce something new to the series, you have to do it slowly. You can't just rip shit off jump and then expect people to run with it. I think
Yeah,
I think that's what Last Jedi was by becoming the second movie in this trilogy, because of like again, if Force Awakens and Rise of Skywalker was parts one and two, and then you want to break away from the Skywalkers and everything else that we used to know about Star Wars and open it up to where the universe is open now. Again, I'm receptive to that. I'm on board with that, but you can't do that in the middle of a story when everything is still unresolved.
And that was another point I was about to make. High key, Disney should have gave Kevin Feige some say because
You
I
know
feel
what?
like they didn't set the Star Wars saga up. They set it up right to begin with like the first, I guess the first 6 episodes. But if they wanted to do something that had impact like Endgame did, because I feel like they were trying to do something like that, then they
That's
should have.
absolutely
They
what they're
didn't set
trying
it
to
up
do.
correctly.
Yeah, there's a couple things. Yeah, you're absolutely. I think they wanted this movie to be Endgame, the Star Wars. This is supposed to be Star Wars Endgame. That's
Yeah.
what they wanted this to be. Even with fucking Ray's line with "I am all the Jedi." That was the equivalent of "I am
Literally.
Iron Man." Literally.
Literally, I was in the theater and I was sitting next to my homie, and then like she's like, I am. I looked at my homie, I'm like Tony Stark.
I am Iron Man. That's what they
Yeah.
wanted this to be.
I'm
That's what they
like,
wanted that
bro.
to be. But
Even
no,
with
you
that
can't.
line, and even with all the ships appearing out of nowhere as the cavalry arrived, just like all
Right.
the Avengers
All
came
the.
back
Yep.
from
Yeah.
Doctor Strange. It's
They
like, yeah,
wanted this to be Star Wars Endgame.
yeah, I see what y'all doing.
Yeah, and it's like, what the
And
fuck was that?
like I also don't like they brought back Palpatine, right? Like the man survived getting fallen down a fucking shaft, like who knows how far. The explosion of a fucking Death Star, and maybe even going through fucking space and landing on a planet or whatever the fuck they found him. But then like he gets lightning reflected back at him and he just disintegrates.
He hasn't learned from that. Mace Windu almost killed him with that, whether he was faking or not. Mace Windu fucked him up pretty bad with that.
Yeah.
It's like,
Mace
all right,
would have won if Anakin didn't cut his fucking hands off.
do you think so?
Yeah.
I'm of the belief that Sidious was faking that whole time because he needed to have Anakin. Ultimately, I feel like if push came to shove, Sidious would have found a way to get out of that. Like if he was really intent on getting rid of Mace Windu like that, he would have been able to.
You think so? I feel like Mace Windu is
I mean, you
probably
might be right.
one of the
It's always
strongest
yeah.
He
No,
he
no, for sure.
actually
He's
is.
definitely strong. No,
because
he's definitely strong.
he's in both the light and the dark side. Like he's one of the
Yeah.
Jedi's that's like in the middle.
Yeah, no, he's definitely strong. But I'm just like it's always been debated. Like
Yeah.
I'm of the camp that's like Sidious would have been able to, if he could have got himself out of that. He just needed Anakin to fully come to the dark side. So,
Yeah.
but
What else?
It was,
well,
yeah, but it was confirmed because Mace Windu was the Jedi Master before he gave it to Yoda.
right.
Like he
for
was the
sure.
head Jedi Master before he
Oh,
just
he was
gave
the
it to
Yeah,
Grandmaster.
like, even
Yeah.
in the prequels, I can see it's like, yo, Yoda might be, he might have final say, but like to me, if I look around, yeah, Mace Windu runs his council, bro.
Yeah.
He was the
Mace Windu was the one talking most of the time when they're in the council, and Yoda was like, "Yeah, I agree."
Yoda was a yes
But
man. Damn.
Yeah, pretty
hey,
much.
I mean, I would be a yes man to Samuel Jackson. I'm not gonna tell him no.
Right.
I've seen Pulp Fiction. I see what happens.
The only
Does
man
he look like a man?
would...
I'm not getting shot in the thigh over that. Yep.
And then what else? The end scene was pretty. I like the end scene.
And
Which
see,
Like,
if nothing else,
uh,
the movie was cinematography wise. It was
oh, it was great. The fucking like them weaving to get to exo goal, whatever the fuck the planet's called.
Yeah.
Like all that shit was like dope as fuck. The planet looked amazing. You know, all the starships rising up looked great.
Yeah.
The cinematography was on point for the movie. The last scene with her standing in front of the two suns, kind of like how like everything started, I also liked.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, can we talk about that real quick? How do you feel about her just stealing the name Skywalker?
I don't like that.
It's like it kind of cheapens the name.
I guess, but I feel like she's like I feel like she's kind of earned it.
Nah.
Because like she like
Uh,
destroyed her past in a way, right? Because she killed Palpatine.
I
And then
guess.
she's like, she's not gonna say Palpatine because there's no way to bring that fucking name back to good side because the man was literally
Oh,
like,
here's another thing. I jumping all over. So
Yeah,
apparently, so I think I guess Luke and Leia apparently always knew that she was Palpatine's granddaughter.
wait, when?
So, cause I think Leia even said like they always knew. When did you know? Like, I'm confused on that. Like, so what did we
Oh,
go through all this
that's
trouble then?
because Star Wars doesn't know when to let us or when to really set out the fact that Jedi can sense stuff or they can't sense stuff. So when I guess Leia sensed it and told Han about it, or Luke or whatever. Both Luke and Leia probably knew about it because of the sense. But
But they're not gonna like.
They didn't say nothing.
no,
I feel like that's a crucial point. You know, like,
they
hey, you're the
probably, they
manifest.
probably used that to their advantage to see what type of path she would take or some bullshit like that. You know how the Jedi be doing, or sorcerers, should we call them? Since they are sorcerers, you know how they be doing. They just be like, they'd be talking about patience this, patience that. We just got to see what happens.
But I thought the ways of the Jedi were old and archaic. That's what Luke was trying to get rid of. So it's like it's just like, hey yo, this is a Palpatine right here, bro. Come get this bitch.
I mean, yeah, if you
Why
think
did-
about it,
come get-
he like strike down his fucking his grandchild or his nephew.
His nephew. Yeah. So
He was like, "Yo,
I don't know.
fuck this."
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Speak-
just to kind of. Oh, now I remember what I was about to talk about because Chef, you mentioned Kevin Feige. I wholeheartedly believe. I think there's even rumors that he's whatever the next like major movie plans they're gonna have. Kevin Feige is gonna be a part of it. He's
Oh
gonna
yeah,
run.
Oh
I
yeah,
heard
him
something
and
about
Ryan
that,
Johnson's supposed to be collaborating.
So and
which
So
I
that
can't
should,
wait for.
that should be good.
and which to me like I don't. This might be drastic. I don't know, but I feel like 'cause if and when Kevin Feige comes on board, he has to find a way to like uncanonize all this stuff. Like because like the way that they've done the Force in this trilogy, like I don't know how you're gonna be able to get anything done because like you can't have people getting hunted across the galaxy anymore because there's no point when you can just force spawn in front of them and take stuff off their bodies and shit. It's like
Oh, they're
he has to find a way to like
I
undo
just feel
all
like
this stuff.
they're gonna keep that exclusive to like because like Ray and Ben or whatever, like they're supposed to be like naturally like raw strength in the Force because they're like Skywalkers, Palpatine, whatever. So I think that's just gonna be like one of those like super like either you're really like, trained for it or you're just like born into having naturally strong
And that
Force abilities.
yeah, I suppose. I don't know. I mean, it's just there has to be a way for like I don't know how you're gonna be able to do Star Wars in the future, with the Force the way it is that they've done it. Because whether we like it or not, this trilogy is canon. So it's like
Yeah,
you have to find a way to like make it all work somehow. And
and I
my
feel
thing is like
go ahead.
I was just gonna say I'm thinking because like when they do the next like major things for the movies, whether it's in the far future or the Old Republic, it's just like I don't like. I know everyone wants to see Old Republic stuff, but it's just like there's
High
always going to be
Republic.
that. Yeah, there's always going to be this dark cloud over those because this is all set in the past. So you all know how it's going to end with this current
Yeah,
trilogy. So it's just like Kevin Feige
but
has to
they
kind of have to find a way to like get like hell. I feel like you have to find a way to get George Lucas back involved to help him fix this shit to really understand the core of what this is supposed to be about. Because it's
yeah.
just like I don't really trust even though if I trust Kevin Feige, but I don't trust like this to give him full control over this because really they're so insistent on having their own kind of shit in here, and it's really fucking everything up.
What was I gonna say? Oh, going back to like the Force healing, I feel like or like the Force instant mail telepathic shit. Like I feel like it also like has to do with being strong in the Force because I'm guessing they're hinting that like Yoda's species is strong in the Force if a fucking baby Yoda can heal people and like Force choke people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So
they're
I
supposed to be extremely force sensitive, whatever his species. They call them
yeah.
elves, but
right.
So I'm just like going back to that point. I just
but
feel like
also
it's something strong.
the new trilogy that Ryan Johnson is doing is rumored. It's supposedly supposed to be set in the past, like 400
Yeah,
years ago.
it's the
And
Old Republic. It's supposed to be the Old Republic, I believe, right?
yeah, but see, that's the thing. If Disney can smarten up and dedicate some shit, the right resources to either side, like the films can be just uh to one producer like Kevin Feige or somebody that's actually capable of doing it, and then Disney can handle the shows because the shows are doing a good job.
Yeah, the
Right.
shows are great.
But they just need to dedicate
Or
somebody else to
the
the
show.
films.
They need to have dedicated divisions that handle like okay, Kevin Feige, like you
Fucking
said, Kevin
grenade.
Feige he runs the movies, and then
Yeah,
fucking maybe like say John Favreau or Waika Watiti he runs like all the shows like Mandalorian, Clone Wars, all that stuff.
yeah.
Just
Mhm.
have those separate divisions, and then at the end of the day, just make sure that all connects. I think that's ultimately that's why I like Star Wars so much because there's so much content to absorb, but it's all connected. That's what makes it dope to me. And
Yeah.
the fact that this trilogy was so disjointed is what makes it so disappointing. So yeah, just like make a separate like let everyone do their own stuff, and then as Disney as the overseers, just make sure it all connects and makes sense. That's all you got to do, bro. It's not that hard.
Oh, speaking
That,
of the Old Republic, oh, go on.
no, I mean I was just gonna say that's it. That's all you got to do. Just make sure it all connects.
Yeah. Um, which I feel like this is gonna connect to like the Old Republic thing because like it's confirmed or not confirmed that he's technically canon, but the name Revan is canon because there's a group of Sith troopers that their name is like the Revan like squad or whatever. which is supposed to be like Darth Revan from Knights of
Right.
the Republic.
Right.
So maybe
Which
that
I'd be super
goes back.
excited to see because yeah,
Yeah,
them
and
niggas
that,
go
and in
up
the
in
Last
age.
Jedi, Luke had a pendant of like Revan's like squad, Revan's gang, Revan's like uh Jedi army,
Right.
the Revenants, I think they're called, something like that. The
The
Revenants.
Revenant
Even even
sounds
Yeah,
even
it's
so.
something
all
like that.
even all the rumors. It's just a stupid rumor, but even the rumors that they're trying to make Revan female.
Oh, are they really? I mean, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter because in the game, you choose who you like.
Well, yeah,
It was
but
RPG.
yeah, I know, but isn't like Revan male and like a lot of the things that he did was for the sake of his wife or whatever?
What do you mean?
Unless I'm mixing him up with mixing Revan up with a different Sith Lord. Like there was later the Sith Lord in the I don't know if it was in Knights of the Old Republic game or something in Old Republic where there was a pretty powerful Sith Lord that a lot of the things he did was for the sake of like his wife or something like that. I'm trying to remember. I might have it mixed.
His wife? No, that's not Revan. Revan was just he fought in the Mandalorian War like 5,000 years ago or whatever how fucking long ago it was. Um, and like he's like one of the first Jedi that was like, oh, we need to be generals in wars. And then he took like a bunch of just Jedi and then fought against the Mandalores and won. And then he ended up becoming a Sith, becoming a Jedi. And at the end of the game, you can choose if you want to be a Jedi or Sith.
I'm gonna be a Sith every time.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Sith in that game, Sith is like morally like fucking like pulls you down because like that shit tugs at you because you literally end up like obviously you're a Sith, so you don't give a fuck about anybody and you like kill up half your fucking roster. And like there's side stories to the roster too, like Mass Effect type of side stories. It's fucking great. Play the game.
Yeah, I have it. I just had because I heard it's not the first one. That's the first one. The second one I heard is kind of buggy on Steam, but I have.
Oh yeah, there's a mod you like should download for it and it like patches it completely.
Yeah, I have the first one. I need to.
Yeah, I'm about to play it.
But yeah.
What else?
Fuck
Anything
Star
other?
Wars.
Any other Star Wars related news is there?
I was just gonna say, what's the name? I am excited and well, not terrified, but I'm excited and interested to see how reliant the future of Star Wars is, like the future movies and stuff that they're gonna do. It's gonna be heavily reliant on Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Especially with the whole thing with the dark saber, with Moff Gideon having the dark saber and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So, does that mean he went to Mandalore? Because it was in Mandalore the last time we saw it, which was in Clone Wars.
So what happened with that? I'm gonna end up spoiling the show for y'all if y'all don't care.
I don't care.
That's
Like
cool.
I said,
I saw it, but it was a minute ago.
So Pre Vizsla, the first Mandalore person who had the dark saber,
Yeah.
Darth Maul killed him and took that from him.
Mhm.
right.
And then there was another female Mandalore that was loyal to Pre Vizsla, and I don't think the Clone Wars showed it, or I must have missed it. I think she ends up getting it back, but I
I
don't
don't
know.
think that I don't
literally
remember
just watched a
seeing that.
video on this. I think yeah, it does like I think Star Wars
It's a
Theory
lot.
did a really good recap on it.
That sword goes through a lot of people's hands, so I guess he did have to raid the Mandalores of their shit,
Which
or Death Watch.
I mean,
Not Death Watch, Night Owls. That's what they called, since they're not Death Watch anymore. But
they're not Death
he had to
Watch?
go through a lot of because after Darth Maul pulled up to the to Mandalore and started claiming shit, there was some people that broke off from Death Watch and then started calling themselves the Night Owls or something.
Is that when like because in season 7 of Clone Wars, which is coming out, didn't Ahsoka say that she's with the Death Watch?
I do not recall that part.
Because in the trailer, like you see them and she's like some with Mandalorians, and it's obviously like the Death Watch Mandalorians.
Oh, it may be the female Mandalore I'm thinking about. I forget. I
Yeah.
keep forgetting what her name is, Bo. But she's not part of Death Watch anymore. Her crew is something else.
Yeah, Star Wars Theory just did a whole video on like a brief recap of where the dark saber came from and how many people.
That shit went through. I think I bodies.
Yeah, so. But yeah, the future, like whatever they do in like the movies and stuff, like I feel like it's gonna be heavily tied into Mandalorian. So like a lot of the plot points that they set up in season 2 are probably gonna be pretty prevalent in whatever the series on the big screen is.
They
Which I
need
think
to
is
take time and show people and properly show people what the timeline is for the Star Wars shit, because I'm still confused, even though I've been following it for 5 years. I'm still confused on what the timeline is for anything really.
Yeah, it kind of is fragmented because
Yeah, I feel like they're filling in a lot of gaps. Like the Mandalore is in a super like sketchy like time zone.
it says it takes place 5 years after the Empire fell, so that'd be more or less 5 years after Return of the Jedi.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then I don't know because the Clone Wars takes place between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
The Kenobi series, I don't know when that's going to take place.
I'm assuming it takes
I don't
place
want a Kenobi
after.
series.
I don't either, but now that whatever.
I'll take a
but
Kenobi series. I don't want
I'm-
the Cashier dude from Rogue One.
I think right. I think it's it takes place after or before Episode 4. So it's what Obi-Wan was doing between Order 66 and when he started training Luke, or when he found Luke, I guess.
So
Okay.
are they gonna show him killing Darth Maul again
Depends
in
on
a
what
better
Clone Wars is
format?
doing.
I think I might be wrong on that because what else? How else are you gonna have a Kenobi series? What else was he doing?
Yeah,
Besides
it's only
fighting
it's
in
only the
Clone
gap when
Wars?
he's like in Tatooine, like
Yeah,
watching
that's
over
true.
baby Luke and killing Darth Maul.
Right. Which, by the way, there's a fan film that actually does that pretty well. I think that's the Kenobi fans series right there. Just watch that fan film. You good? Um. Yeah. So yeah,
Oh.
So Mandalorian takes place 5 years after Return of the Jedi, and then Kenobi's supposed to take place between 3 and 4, I think.
Okay.
And then yeah. So yeah, and then what is it like? Episode 7 takes place like 30 years after
Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi. So like Mandalorian and probably going to be one other show that takes place in between that.
Jesus, that means they have like 20 years to fill.
So I'm wondering if you're going to see the First Order in the Mandalorian at some point.
Maybe like the
They
the
had to
beginnings
have
of
come
it.
up in between. Yeah, you probably because they have had to have their come up before Episode 7.
Yeah, a couple of years. Maybe it's gonna be a whole nother series.
And I think John Favreau said that you would see a legacy character in season 2 at some point, which to me screams Boba Fett. Because like, how are you gonna have Mandalorian?
Boba Fett's dead, no?
We don't know that.
We don't know that. It's. I think it's becoming a little bit more clear that he's not actually.
Because I know
that's-
in Legends he's like he doesn't die. Like he cuts his way out of the Sarlacc pit.
Yeah, that's the Star Wars thing. Like people that's supposed to die don't die. AKA
Exactly.
Darth Maul, AKA Darth Sidious.
That,
AKA
nah, that
every Force
nigga's dead.
Ghost.
That nigga dead.
It's like if you're supposed to die, then you're not really dying.
But I feel like I don't know. I like unpopular opinion, I guess. But I never liked Boba Fett. Like I felt like he was fucking like Captain Phasma. He was pretty fucking useless. Like he didn't.
He was
do
alright.
anything.
He was
That
just
was
there.
their
It's like
fault.
he just looks cool.
Yeah, and on top of that,
I think George Lucas is even on record saying he really didn't have anything planned for Boba Fett. He's just like he was supposed to be like a minor side character, but then like people like fell in love with his design so much he had to create a backstory. So
Yeah, that's why they came up with that Jango Fett.
Jango Fett. I don't know. I just don't like Boba Fett. I feel like he was also like a wasted character. Like he found them, froze Han, fucking
that's all he did.
got blasted in his jetpack and went in
I
straight
just,
into a
I,
Sarlacc pit.
I just like it. I think again, it's just like his suit. It's just his design. That's all people like.
Yeah.
That's it. But I don't know. I mean, like I said, because if what other legacy character are you gonna have in Mandalorian? You're gonna have Chewbacca. You're gonna have Luke. You're gonna have Leia. Who
I
gonna
don't
have?
know. I feel like with like shows like this that are doing like the Mandalorian is doing fucking great, you know, like it's doing great for its standalone thing. I feel like they shouldn't add like a legacy character, you know, like like add someone else, or like if it's a legacy character, don't add like a main one, like a big one, you know.
I wouldn't even be upset if they put in Kylo in there, because like I said, you probably have to see the First Order get to come up if this takes place after the fact. So I don't know. There's definitely
curveballs at us.
there's definitely some potential, but yeah, Mandalorian hit.
I just hope they don't fuck up season 2.
I don't
I
think
think-
they
I think-
will.
You can't do that with the theme song that they got for the Mandalorian. You can't.
True,
I just need the episodes to be a little bit long.
Yeah, that's all
right?
you
Just
can
a
do.
little
It
bit.
is-
It
was
doesn't
a
even
full
have to be a
hour.
full hour. It doesn't even have to be. Give it 50 minutes.
Give us, yeah.
Playing too damn much.
Oh, speaking of like Disney and being toys, my friend literally got me like a Funko Pop, and it's Dio, the fucking like that droid that they like brought back
Nobody
to
care
life.
about that nigga.
And I'm like, if I didn't see this fucking show, I wouldn't know who the fuck this like thing. The one that's talking, the one that's like friend or no or whatever the fuck he says.
Oh yeah.
Wait,
By the way, I think Dio that's voiced by J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, it was.
So yeah, fuck you, bro. Um,
I'm gonna send a picture in Discord,
yeah.
Chef. I got you.
okay, I'm confused.
Hey, but shout out Babu Freak though. I
Babu
like
Freak.
him.
Apparently, he was like. I think it was confirmed that he's like 94 years old.
Ah! Yeah, shout out my nigga.
You look old, goddamn me.
Um, but I mean, at the end of all that said, Rise of Skywalker, it tried to be good. There were some things I liked, but at the end of the day, I recognize this was an attempt to buy fan love back after a lot of people got pissed off at Last Jedi. And at the end of the day, this trilogy doesn't really hit because George and
Yeah.
fragmented storytelling. If they had just made Last Jedi the last movie and then had done some things with the story, it would have been a lot better. But
I agree.
good job, Disney. You fucked it all up.
I mean, I'm just glad the Skywalker saga's over. Like, honestly, I'm tired. I'm tired of Skywalkers.
First of all, I didn't even know this was called the Skywalker saga until that Disney put that.
I think they just brought it up this year. Just
Yeah,
term. So,
but it makes sense
it does make sense. Well, I'm not mad at that. It's just like that's
because
the first time I've
Anakin
heard
then
that name.
Luke.
Right. And all
Like,
that.
I don't know.
Yeah, everything that's surrounding the Skywalkers at some point.
That's why, like, I'm like tired of it. Like, I'm like, give us something. Like, I just feel like it's always gonna be about the Skywalkers. Like, anything they make,
Kenpachi,
it's obviously
What?
gonna continue leading up to this point.
What happened, Chef?
the Grenade death.
Like grenade.
Oh yeah.
No, I was
That
gonna,
shit
the
was
last Skywalker thing they need to do is give Darth Vader his proper showing.
I
So
feel
we
like they
can
should do
see,
a show
his
with
terror,
Darth
like
Vader.
his true terror.
Like,
You ever read the
between, like,
comics?
No, I need to because Darth Vader is my favorite character.
There's
I've ever
literally a
gotten in Star
comic
Wars.
that like he has like he's like torn up, like he has his cape is fucking ripped up, and he's standing on this planet and there's a bunch of rebels and they're like surrender, you're surrounded, and he's like the only thing I'm surrounded by is fear and dead people.
Yeah, so if they give Darth Vader his
Vader
proper
too
showing,
real. What
And it's literally like it's like I'm gonna look up the picture of it.
he's just one of the best. They got to do him proper.
we got a little bit of taste of that in Rogue One and live action wise, because
Somebody said because I was watching the video and they was like if they just saved Darth Vader for that ending scene and didn't show him in the middle of the movie, that would have been one of the best
yeah,
scenes to ever.
I still
hit.
think he should have been the one that killed off all the Rogue One characters instead of
Oh,
them dying to explosions and shit.
Look it in Discord, Chef. This is from the comic and it's like canon.
Yeah, I gotta start brushing up on the comic then for Darth Vader.
Yeah, that shit goes hard. I didn't read it, but like I saw like a
That's
yeah.
tough.
All I'm surrounded
If
by
I heard
is
that nigga,
fear
I'm like,
and
hey
dead
yo,
men.
so I'm a catch y'all.
And then I think this comic also shows him trying to kill himself because he like attempted to kill himself a bunch of times,
I don't
but he
blame him.
just
He's always
couldn't.
fake.
Yeah,
That nigga always
And-
in pain. I would have.
it shows like the way he got his lightsaber, he had to kill a Jedi, like he had to hunt down a strong Jedi and then kill he killed him, and all he had was like a fucking like metal sword. It's fucking insane. Like this man's a savage. Like way like comics and shit and shows, I feel like they just save Star Wars.
That's the only thing they have going for it right now.
Because Anakin, I
shows.
hated Anakin in the movie.
But he was
like-
perfectly cast though.
He was perfectly casted, right? Like I feel like it was just writing and shit. But
you
like
can see that
in
through
the
the Clone
show,
Wars.
in Clone Wars, Anakin's the GOAT. Obi-Wan's the GOAT. Obi-Wan's like my favorite character.
Right. They made the Jedi's look so much better in the show than they did in the movies.
Yeah, that's what I feel like.
the Jedi are terrible people, but in
Yeah.
the Clone Wars they look like they're good people.
Yeah. Like I feel like that's why I feel like they should stick with more animation rather than live action. Even though live action is dope, but with animation you can do so much more with like the way they move and the way they like do stuff.
It
Because
seems
it's
like
obviously not a real person.
and it seems all the people that are actually dedicated and are actually Star Wars fans are the ones that are doing the animations and the shows.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because I feel like the movies get so bogged down with Hollywood bullshit that it just
Yeah.
fucks everything up.
That and then it's only like 2 hours worth of showing, so they can't really feel as much as they want to as if they had a show that's worth
Right.
like 6 hours worth of showtime. So it's pretty much it.
Yeah. Past that, I think I've said everything that I wanted to say about
Yeah,
Star Wars as a whole right now. So
That's it for
Oh,
me.
my final verdict on the Rise of Skywalker is a 6 out of 10, and the trilogy is a 5 out of 10.
I respect. I can do the same.
that's
It's
probably
half
about
and
where I
half.
put it.
It's half and half.
Right.
It's like,
I give Rise uh, a 5 out of 10, as in not like trash, but like average. So if like
yeah,
one is like absolutely unwatchable, and 10 is like goated, can't even be touched, biblical kind of epic kind of storytelling. 5 is in the middle, so it's in the, like I said, it tried to be good and try to rectify a lot of the issues that Last Jedi created, but at the end of the day, it was kind of hollow because it's just like I said, now that you've told me in the second movie nothing matters, like I don't even care to see what I don't even care what happened.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, I like her. I like her lightsaber. It's the first yellow or second yellow lightsaber that's canon,
yeah,
and I like the way it looks.
that's the one thing. I guess
no,
that's the last thing. I was kind of hoping because even after Last Jedi, Ghost and I talked about this a lot. I was hoping that they would go the Gray Jedi route, and you see like even Kylo get like a yellow lightsaber, and then you maybe see like a couple other people. Like you would see like the rise of a new order of Gray Jedi or something like that. I was kind of hoping it'd go that direction, but obviously it didn't. I mean, it still might, depending on what happens in the distant future. But um, I just felt like that was like a natural progression, especially with the other thing that you know, Last Jedi tried to do is like, oh, there are no more Jedi, there are Sith. Like the true like the true essence of the Force is somewhere in the middle. It's kind of like where life is. It's kind of like, there's no life isn't black and white. Like the truth is always somewhere in the middle. I feel like that's like the Force is the perfect analogy for
I
like
feel like
Great
they
Jedi.
also. But
No, that was it.
I was gonna say I feel like they touched on that in Clone Wars also when Anakin's fighting like the father or the daughter and the son. Like
yeah,
he's controlling both like dark side and light side because the son's like of is I forgot what you call it, but like is just a form of the dark side, like a human form of that, or a spiritual form of the dark side, and the daughter's like the light side in like a human form or whatever. And he's like in the middle, just trying to control them both.
Right. Yep. It's somewhere in the middle, and I wish they had fully embraced that. But we'll see. Not no, like I said, now that the Skywalker stuff is all done, maybe they
Thank
start
God.
in that direction. So we'll see. I don't know. But yeah, the shows and the cartoons and the comics are in a better place than the movies are.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what ultimately I don't know what it's going to take for the movies to get good again, but at least this part of it's.
I mean, I'm excited. I always like the Old Republic. I think.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, Knights of the Old Republic is like one of my favorite Star Wars games, like hands down. I mean, I haven't played
I
Fallen Order,
want.
so
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I still need to get Fallen Order, but ultimately, I want to see a show that's like that looks and feels like the trailers for the Old Republic, the
oh
MMO.
yeah,
I need a full show of that.
right. You
That's
see
what I
them
need.
CGI fights; those are
That,
nasty.
that's what Star Wars needs right now is more of
you would
that.
hope EA relinquishes their license,
They need to.
Even
or
if
they
EA
they
even doesn't, just put the right people in place to do that again.
Like
was it
it's
BioWare that gave you all of that?
Yep.
If
yep,
BioWare gave you that, well, they doing other bullshit, but
yep.
oh Lord,
Yeah,
BioWare.
just give me a.
Shout out.
I don't even need either a full on trilogy of movies of that level of detail and action, or a series, a TV series.
I just want TV. I feel like TV series are so much better because then you can fill in more gaps, and then we don't have to wait as long.
You can kind of take your time, yeah.
Yeah, like, and they can just fill in more gaps. They can put in more details, obviously, because it's by episodes rather than like throwing in the main points and then you have to fill in the gaps later. And I just feel like they have a lot more time to like write shit in than a movie.
That's true. It's crazy because it's like 3 episodes make up one movie, but in 3 episodes you get more information than a movie.
Yeah.
I don't know what type of writing that is, but
I think, I think, I think I'm good. I don't think I have everything else.
I think I've said everything that needed to be said. So, Goats, if you're listening, if you missed it, I don't hate the Last Jedi anymore. The problem with the Last Jedi, I think now, is it came out too soon.
yes.
So, yeah, well, we can have that discussion offline today. But yeah, I
Yep.
think I said everything.
Also, watch Clone Wars. It is essential.
Oh,
Yep.
I
facts.
need to watch.
It
I
was-
need to
it was
watch
one of the most
Rebels.
important,
I heard Rebels is good too.
Yeah,
I know.
I'm
I heard.
about to start
I,
watching it.
I heard Rebels is ass until like the last season.
Huh. That's a lot of
Yeah,
shit to cut through.
It's
Isn't
4
it like
seasons.
yeah, I said that's a lot of shit to cut through. What
Like
I'll
I
probably
was
end
like,
up doing, I'll probably end up like like reading the clip notes or like episode recaps of like Clone Wars, then just pick and choose the ones I actually want to watch.
yeah,
Do the same thing with Rebels because like I think season 7 of Clone Wars comes out next month. I'm not gonna be catch up.
yeah. Like what I heard, like I saw one scene from Rebels where Ahsoka is fighting Darth Vader, and I don't think she knows yet that it's Anakin. And literally, as they're fighting, and it's supposed to be like a heartwarming moment, you know, like Ahsoka's fighting like her old master, all this stuff and everything. And like the main character, Ezra, I think his name is. Like he's there and he's like, "Oh man, I'm not strong enough to fight yet. Damn, this sucks. Go Ahsoka." Like he's in the background just moping, and I'm like, "What the is this? Like, why is this man like just talking in the middle of this like sentimental, like emotional fight that's happening?"
Ezra sounds like the name of a nigga that be sulking in the corner.
Yeah, and apparently he's like a bitch the whole time up until like the end. Like I don't know.
I hate bitch
Like,
characters, yo. Why can't niggas just grab like a character that is like seasoned in the shit? I'm not saying he got to be OP from the jump, but like mentally stable.
yeah,
Maybe, but at least maybe if he starts out weak and then gets his come up, it's like he just
I think that's what happens.
blows up.
I can't tell you because I haven't seen it. I need to watch it, but I'm dreading it.
Nah, I'm gonna look forward to it
Yeah.
I mean,
after
shit.
season 7 though.
I need to explore more of the extended universe of Star Wars because I think that's really like the core of
Literally, right?
That's where all the fun is.
Yeah.
Some of the shit
watch
is
the movie.
weird though.
Yeah.
It is really
you
weird.
just
It
wa-
gets really weird. Some of
Like
the shit
literally
gets
right
really
in
weird.
front of me, I have 2 books. Right, I have 3. I have an Ahsoka book, which is pretty much what tells you what happens after like between like Rebels and Clone Wars, and then I have Star Wars Galaxy of Fear and Star Wars Death Troopers, where there's literally stormtroopers that turn into zombies.
I don't know about all that.
I haven't
Yeah,
read
it
it
gets
yet.
weird. It gets really
I
weird.
don't know about all that. Talking Old Republic stuff, like the extended stuff where what Luke was doing in between, like
Play Knights of the Old Republic.
Right.
It'll give you like the best, like it's like the best thing about like the Old Republic.
all
It's
right. Yeah,
fantastic.
I haven't thought about downloading the MMO again. I don't know. I couldn't get it to launch last.
Oh, I don't know about them. I'm talking about the RPG.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying
Oh.
that made me think of the old. I need to.
I tried playing it, but I couldn't get into it.
It doesn't look like the fucking CG trailers. So it's
Yeah,
like, could you imagine like a Star Wars game with like Black Desert combat? Right.
that's what I'm saying. They need a
Niggas got that saved away in the hard drive somewhere, yo.
yeah, right?
Hey, the closest we got was Fallen Order,
True.
which is also canon.
I'm waiting for another sale. I'll get Fallen Order.
What?
I would have bought it on the during the winter sale, but I had to build.
Yeah, just wait for another sale because it'll probably be cheaper than because they kept dropping it down to 40. If you find it for 30, that's good.
Oh yeah, for sure. It was 30 on console, but I'm not playing that.
Yeah, that's the thing. That was my thing. I was like, nah, I'm gonna get this on PC.
But past that, yeah, I think we've talked about everything. So
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. That being said, I want to thank you guys for coming out for this little short little review sesh of Star Wars, The Lost Hope. What are you about to say?
maybe we can find it again.
I don't know. I'm
We'll
glad
find
that shit. I'm glad that shit kind of lost. But that being said, appreciate you guys for coming out. See you guys next Wednesday for the next podcast. And yeah, Blitz, closing words first.
Yeah.
All right. Chef, any closing words for us?
I try. I couldn't think of anything.
They not slick with Lando Calrissian and the black girl.
Oh, his daughter?
Oh,
They not-
I
they not
forgot
slick.
That's his daughter. I was gonna bring that up. That's his
That
daughter.
That shit was weird. The way he said it is like, "Where are you from?" I don't know. And then he says, "Why don't we find out?" Why would you
Me,
say it
man,
like
that's
that?
Pause. Pause.
Yeah, he
Huh?
said it. No,
Is that a pause?
you got to see it, Kenpachi. The way he said it was really weird.
Yeah,
It's like, "What are you getting at, Lando?" I know you're
Apparently,
supposed
that's
to be
his
like,
daughter.
yeah, that's what
yeah,
they're
but
trying to allude
that's what I'm
to.
saying. The way he said it, he
Yeah.
made it sound really creepy.
Star Wars Alabama.
Star Wars, Alabama.
That's my closing statement. They not slick.
I feel that.
I saw that shit coming.
Rich, any closing words, good sir?
If you haven't played Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2, play that shit. Worth it.
He clapping too. You better play
Yeah,
it.
he using his hands, bro. You gotta do that, bro. Trust. Um, and my closing words. Ooh. Um. Moisturize your hair. Moisturize your hair. Keep your hair healthy.
Keep your
Um.
feet clean.
Oh yeah, clean your feet too. And when you go to the gym, use deodorant, 'cause y'all niggas be stinking. Yeah. See y'all beautiful people later. This is Kenpachi, signing out. Peace.
Bye bye.
Bye.